Thank you for joining us here at Cat Eye's YouTube channel. In these next series of videos, we will be covering the various equipment and methods used to inspect your glass product. Each surface quality has its own set of lighting requirements and inspection methods specific to that surface quality spec. You will see these quality specification details on a surface quality criteria card that we show at the beginning of each inspection criteria. Proper inspection of glass is important, especially when it comes to viewing parts perpendicular to the eye. In the following videos, we depict the incorrect inspection technique and correct inspection technique with some overlays to show you where the inspector's eye is in relation to the glass. In this first video, you will notice the inspector's eye is far above the actual glass being inspected. Holding the glass too low from the inspector's eye allows the rear light source to highlight defects normally not seen with a flat black background. This video depicts the correct inspection technique, holding the glass straight out arm's length, using the entire flat black background to view defects. It's important to use the flat black background when inspecting in transmission. Surface Quality Criteria 6040 allows for parts to be viewed perpendicular to the eye, 12 to 15 inches in transmission, for 2 to 7 seconds using a flat black background and backlight that is set at a 45-degree angle. The light sources are fluorescent lights that are diffused that have a target output of 160-foot candles 1 foot from the source. 6040 inspection begins by turning on the rear fluorescent diffused backlight. The backlight is angled at 45 degrees, allowing the user, in this case our inspector, to view the parts in transmission. You can see the inspectors handling the edges of the glass to protect the front and rear surfaces from contamination from the hands using clean barrier gloves during the handling and inspect process. Parts are viewed looking through the glass using the flat black background for a period of 2 to 7 seconds. The inspector scans the glass from side to side, top to bottom, looking for chips, digs, scratches, and other common defects associated with the glass manufacturing process. Parts are then set aside and processed further throughout our facility. It's important to note Cat Eye uses ULPA filtered laminar flow boots, which provides a clean filtered environment for the inspection of glass. "8050 Surface Quality Criteria utilizes an overhead fluorescent diffused light source and rear 45-degree mounted fluorescent backlight and a flat black background. Parts are viewed perpendicular to the eye, 18 to 24 inches or arm's length distance in transmission for a period of 2 to 5 seconds. 8050 inspection begins by turning on the overhead fluorescent light and rear fluorescent backlight. The fluorescent backlight and overhead light in combination allow for the proper lighting environment to view parts in 8050. Parts are handled by the edges of the glass as demonstrated by the inspector. The inspector is required to wear barrier gloves to protect the edges of the glass from contamination coming from the hands. Parts are viewed in transmission perpendicular to the eye, approximately arm's length distance or 18 to 24 inches as our specification calls for. Similar to 6040, the part is scanned top to bottom, left to right, for a period of 2 to 5 seconds, looking for common defects such as digs, scratches, chips, or other blemishes present on our glass. Parts that meet criteria are then set aside and processed further throughout our facility. It's important to note we are using ULPA filtered laminar flow boots, which provide clean filtered air for the inspection of glass. Surface Quality Criteria 8050 display utilizes an overhead fluorescent diffused light source and a rear 45-degree mounted fluorescent backlight and a flat black background. Parts are viewed perpendicular to the eye, 18 to 24 inches or arm's length distance in transmission for a period of 2 to 5 seconds. The part is rotated from transmission into reflection at a 45-degree angle to view surface defects. 8050 display and coated glass inspection methods begin by turning on the overhead fluorescent light source and rear fluorescent backlight. The fluorescent backlight and overhead light in combination allow for the proper lighting environment to view coated material in 8050 display. Parts are handled by the edges of the glass as demonstrated by the inspector in this video. The inspector is required to wear barrier gloves to protect the edges of the glass from contamination from the hands. Parts are viewed in transmission perpendicular to the eye and then rotated into reflection at a 45-degree angle. On coated glass, the inspector looks for surface defects such as streaks or coating defects that may show up as red, silver, blue, violet, or green stains. With 80/50 display and coated glass inspection methods, the part is scanned top to bottom, left to right for a period of 2 to 5 seconds, looking for common defects such as digs, scratches, chips, or other blemishes present on glass. The part is inspected at a 45-degree angle and rotated front to back at arm's length distance, or 18 to 24 inches as our specification calls for. Parts that meet criteria are then set aside and processed further throughout our facility. It's also important to note that we are using Cat-Eye's ULPA-filtered downdraft flow booths, which provide for a clean flow of air and cuts down on surface particulates on the glass and in the air. Surface Quality Criteria Q3 utilizes an overhead light source, 45-degree backlight, and flat black background. Viewing parts perpendicular to the eye, 18 to 24 inches in transmission for 2 to 3 seconds. It's important to note 1 scratch is allowed per part. Q3 inspection is performed in line on the production floor as demonstrated by the inspector in this video. Parts are conveyed out to the inspector, picked up and held perpendicular to the eye. Barrier gloves are used to protect the glass from any contamination. The use of the fluorescent backlight and overhead light, not visible in this video, provide the proper lighting environment to identify digs and scratches per the Q3 criteria. Surface Quality Criteria Q4 is performed in process on the production floor. Parts are viewed on the rollers or conveyor at the end of our wash machines or furnaces, using uniform overhead lighting. All defects are determined visually. No attempt should be made to physically measure defect size. Q4 inspection is performed in process in our wash machines or furnaces. As you can see, the part is being conveyed out on the rollers toward the inspector. The entire environment is blacked out with curtains to prevent outside lighting from affecting the inspector's eye during the inspection process. The only source of illumination is an overhead light, not viewed in this video. However, this light source above the glass allows for viewing parts in reflection while on the conveyor. As you see in this video, the inspector watches the part as it's being conveyed, looking for digs, scratches, and chips on the surface of glass. Parts are handled by the edges using barrier gloves to prevent contamination of the glass. We hope you enjoyed viewing our inspection demonstration videos today. Contact Cat-Eye Glass for any comments or questions you may have. We understand that you may have a specialized inspection need for your specific application. Feel free to reach out to your regional sales representative or directly at sales@cateyeglass.com or via phone at 847-931-8986. Thanks for joining us today. We look forward to hearing from you.